Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Laurel Park and the new Maryland Jockey Club. I'm Keith Fustel. This is Today at the Races as we kind of embark on a new journey here, new era in Maryland racing. Glad to have you along for this Friday racing card. 9 races on the tap today. It's a really good competitive card. Alongside me is a man we're familiar with, but no longer a guest. Mr. Dan Oman, our new Director of Communications here at the Maryland Jockey Club. Dan, great to have you along.
Happy New Year, Keith.
Yeah.
Wondering to see how sharp you're going to be off the layoff. You look dappled out and fit.
Well, I'm ready to go. I'm coming off a little freshening down in Florida, so this cooler weather's got me going. I'm charged up, ready to go. But I tell you, we're coming back. We've got a new direction here. I like what's going on. Can you kind of maybe indicate to us and our racing fans maybe what they can look forward to here in the near future?
We want you to win money. We've got 2 of the best bets in racing, the 12% value pick 5, the first pick 5, the first 5 races on the card, the second pick 5 with a carryover potential, the last pick 5 races on the card, and you can't beat the 12% takeout in this business right now for a pick 5 wager. We've got some great handicapping content, laurelpark.com/picks, big handicapping guide, picks, analysis, horses to watch, bias trends, lots more.
Definitely bigger and better, a lot more information. You know, some of it may be a little bit confusing to consume at first. We're here. If anybody has any questions, reach out to us, Callie, McKenzie, Dave Robin. We're here to help any way we can guide you and get you to the windows and definitely make some money. But this 12% value pick 5, it's huge. It can be a life changer, definitely a week changer, a year changer for our fans. So looking forward to everything on the horizon here with the Maryland Jockey Club. Kind of like a first day of school, isn't it? It's a little bit different, but I like it. So let's kick things off here. First race. We got some new slates and everything we're going to have here on the morning show. So race 1 is a mile and a 16th. Starts off the early value pick 5. It's a beaten claimer, fillies and mares, going a mile and a 16th, 75 down to 6,000. There we go. Got the morning line odds, jockeys. Love it.
Love it.
Okay.
Looking good.
No scratches. We just have a few scratches throughout today's card, but we'll get to those later. But all clear here in the first. I know there's one little overweight to 3. Mosler's Image, 1 pound over. Dan, I think you're kind of leaning a little bit Carol Girl. We're going to talk about my early pick 5 ticket, the value pick 5. I'm going to start, betting a little bit more here these days. Maybe a little little increase in the handle. And we're going to try to target these pick fives each and every day. A little bit later this afternoon, Mackenzie Pfeiffer will have one for you. Let's get you started. Race 1, 3 deep with the 5, 6, and 7. Race 2, it's a spread. This is a real maze of a race going 3/4 for the fillies and mares, which have never won 2. I go 1, 5, 7, 8, 10. Wrap it up. 2 deep, 2 deep, 2 deep. 3, 7, 5, 7, 7, 12. A total cost of 60. Don't be scared to grab a friend or friends to join in the fun and put some money into these tickets. You may not hit them as often as you'd like, but when you do, they pay. They usually pay handsomely. We've had some tremendous runs with these pick 5 payouts. But let's get you started. Carol Girl's going to be your top selection in the opener, maybe to the front or just off of it for trainer Michael Gorm.
And that's the key. The class drop is really the big key for Carol Girl, who last time out was just in against a rejuvenated Pistol Liz Ablazin, a horse with a tremendous amount of back class who has regained her form. Pistol Liz Ablazin was 1-10 in that race. Carol Girl and no one else in that field was beating Pistol Liz Ablazin. Did I love the way Carol Girl ran that way? Not really. She was on a moderate pace, battling with a 28-1 shot that finished ahead of her, but I just think dropping in class, getting up close to the pace, that's going to be the key. She's going to get the jump on some of the other top contenders turning for home.
She's got a little bit more quality down the road. You look a little deeper into PPs. I think Latash, the 4, could be a little bit of a thorn in her side, maybe a target as well as they go down through the backstretch. And granted, we're coming off a little layoff here. We'll see how this track plays, and we will certainly keep you apprised of how it's going throughout the cards. We'll update as things, if we see any kind of bias developing, we will let you know. The 5 looking for water, kind of jumping in condition here, Dan, your second selection for Bruno Tessore.
Horse that likes to run second and third, and I wonder if that's what maybe this one will settle for once again. This horse might be the best closer in this race. If Latash hooks things up with Carol Girl, it could set things up for Looking for Water, who finished ahead of 3 of these in her most recent start. She was outside. The winner of that day, Don't Tell Darren, came up the rail, so maybe ground loss worked against her. I think she's in good form. Is she the most trustworthy horse at a relatively short price? I'm not sure.
Right, going out here to 2 turns today. 6-5-1-2 for Dan. I'm going to talk real quickly about the 7 Lisa's Palace. Third off a break for Mark Salvaggio. Numbers don't quite stack up recently. You go on the go back. There's kind of a form cycle on the go back that ran right into a top number for Lisa's Palace. Third off the break, here's a little stat for you. This kind of break, 60 to 180 day. Last 3 years for Salvaggio, 4 for 12, 8 for 12 in the money with a really nice ROI of 348. She's proven over this race course. Going to have to drop in, save a little ground, and welcome the Tyler Connor back in the fold here in Maryland. Let's turn to race number 2. Kicks off the early pick 4. There's a look at race 2 at 6 furlongs with a purse of $22,000. Lifetime claimers, fillies and mares, which have never won 2. Scratch the 9. Just the thing is scratched. It leaves us with a field of 11. A really, really tough race, I thought. Dan, little trainer change, surface change. Ask not what you can do.
Everything changing for Ask Not What You Can Do, who went through the auction ring last month and was snatched up for, what is it, only $8,000 for Hugh McMahon?
Yeah.
That being said, I like that this horse won her debut, was claimed out of the Trombetta barn. Tromby got right back in and claimed her back. He obviously liked her. Unfortunately, she must have had some sort of issue because she missed over a year. She never really came back to that sort of form racing on the turf. She's been purchased. They're running her on the dirt. She's got some pedigree. She's a half to a stakes winning dirt sprinter named Doing Great. The Dam was a stakes place dirt sprinter. The Dam is a half to a stakes winning dirt sprinter and a stakes place dirt sprinter. I'm hoping that this horse handles switching to the main track, because if she can repeat some of the figures she earned on turf and synthetic, she fits with these horses.
And you're looking at the flow of this race. Red Head Italian. They're going to take some play here for Brittany Russell. Just dusted a field 2 races back, got to the front, then was kind of burned up in a pretty quick and early internal there at Penn National, dropping back down a little bit to 12.5. Can she shake clear, or Sweet Honeybee and some others in here are going to force the issue?
The concern is there are some other speeds in this race, but don't count Redhead Italian out just yet. You mentioned the big speed figure 2 starts back, and while you lose at Penn National, sometimes you're like, I don't love it. That was a strong field. That race has already produced 3 next out winners. The 8th place finisher rebounded from the poor effort, came back to win by 5 lengths with a 59 Beyer speed figure. So maybe Redhead Italian was actually in equal competition or maybe
Right.
slightly tougher. I am concerned, though, that this pace might heat up. It's a pretty big field, and it could work against her.
Stormy Midnight down to the inside. The 3-horse for DePaz is pretty quick. You're going to get the 2 Joyful Kitten into the mix, maybe to make that run off the pace. A little closer last time with the addition of blinkers.
Yeah, I think that was really the key for her. Hustled up to track the pace from the pocket that day. Saved ground every step of the way, but was really trying hard. Ended up second to an odds-on winner, Jerry Robb, Xavier Perez. We know that they team up well. They had 2 winners, I think, on closing day in 2024.
Little note on the 7 Bonds Bell. She did have blinkers on last time. Was able to overcome some really tough adversity out of the gate. Did kind of get to the better part of the racetrack. The wide path was good. And again, take note of our biases on our website. So go to laurelpark.com in the wagering section, and you're going to find, we're going to have bias reports now. It's definitely going to help you out down the road with your handicapping. So Bondsville, I think, will appreciate it. You can kind of stretch it out that extra 16th of the money. I go 16th of a mile. I go inside with Quick K, a little shot second off the break. It's been good with this kind of drop for the barn the last couple of years. ROI of 567 out of a race 2. Luke Kangaroo just got to the front, kept going at 10. I think this is definitely easier competition than that race that night. I'll also throw in the 8 Edge of Town. 10, 2, 7, 12 in race 2. Let's get to the third. We roll right along. 9 races again on today's racing card. Third race at 6 furlongs with a purse of $41,000. No scratches. Maiden claimers 45 down to 36. These are the newly minted 3-year-old fillies. Started out with the 4. Chris, again, you got a little value here at a 10-1 morning line.
Christiane's one of the horses to watch on our handicapping guide. Again, laurelpark.com/picks for daily horses to watch as well. The issue was when I made Christiane a horse to watch. It was before she was listed as a vet scratch sick on December the 8th, and I thought that maybe Carlos Mencia would run her back for 25.
I got you.
They're jumping her up in class here. The concern is it could be a little bit too tough. Victor had his choice of Christiane and Daring Delight. Decides to go to the first-time starter, Daring Delight for Mrs. Charles. So there are some negatives here, but I did like Christiane's most recent start. She set a pressured pace inside the 3-1 first-time starter who finished 4th, a horse that took a lot of money that day. Put that horse away. Ran really well to be second best. I am concerned that this might be too tough for her, but if she doesn't get it done today, let's watch for her on the class drop next time.
Yeah, and she gets the sharp comment that we give out, in our shorter comments there for Equibase. It's always, note that they usually come back and run well. You talked about a little step up. Is it a little too much? There is some other speed in here. She's surrounded by some speed. Saber Song just to her outside with the blinkers. Back with the boys, back with the girls. And Bucking Right is quick. Let's look a little video spotlight here of the 3-horse Silver Trinket. For Brittany Russell. Interesting move last time. The blinkers came off, Dan. The hood went on.
Interesting. Brittany usually doesn't run horses with a hood on. Silver Trinket didn't break great, but soon found out in a good position down on the inside. The rail is going to open up, and you're going to see Silver Trinket. This horse is just going to battle all the way down to the wire and just miss. So it's nice to know that she's got tactical speed and determination. The 7th place finisher from this race came back to win for a quarter tag with a 48 Beyer speed figure. They all got a shot in here. Silver Trinket makes a good strong run, and if she runs back to that Beyer speed figure, she's going to be tough in this spot, obviously.
Right, and the elephant in the room as we talk about it, you'll hear us the first, couple weeks of this new year. Lasix on every horse, these 3-year-olds. So in this race, it's first time Lasix. There will have some effect, and we kind of weed things out a little bit and see how it goes. But take note of that. I go outside a little bit here with a 7. She's No Uncle, a firster for Cal Lynch. Have to Freeze the Fire was really impressive a year or two back at Pimlico with an 85 in debut. Has held pretty good form. I expect some speed by Uncle Lino, 21% with 3-year-old first-time starters. And Cal Lynch has won with 3 of his last 4 first-time starters, the 3-year-old versions on the main track. I like that. I like the draw here. J-Rod and Lynch always very strong together.
And Cal has always been super historically with first-time starters, so I expect this horse to take some money, especially with J-Rod aboard. We got a couple of trainer stats that we also used in the guide. Let's go back to Christiane real quick. Carlos Mencia, Maiden's 3rd start. Carlos likes to give him a race or 2 before they really fire. 5 for the last 17, 29%. This is a $2.99 return on investment. So horsey, and again, might be in a little bit tough, but there are things to like. Like the last race, visually has the trainer stat. And Buck and Wright, the number
Yes,
two, a
two.
horse is going to show a lot of speed for Rudy Sanchez Solomon. Let's throw up the trainer stat there. Maiden second-time starter, 4 for the last 14, 29%. But most importantly, look at that return on investment, $5.63. This horse showed big speed in her career debut, and the fourth-place finisher from that race came back to graduate with a 52 Beyer speed figure.
As a gambler, you're looking at that ROI, and this one is a half to kiss by an angel.
Yep.
Stakes type filly. Buck and Wright was very sharp in debut on that muddy sealed surface. I don't think she necessarily needs the lead either. I think she can stretch out a little bit
But
further.
from this post, do they have to hustle her?
Yeah. You've got to get position. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about it. You got to get position. I always say about you getting through that opening quarter of a mile, maybe even a little bit further than that without incident. That's the
Right.
key, especially with these younger horses. You don't want them frazzled in traffic. 4-3-2-6. I'm going to take a shot with the 7 here. Let's go to the 4th. Fourth race on today's racing card. It's the middle pick 4. It's also the start of the Chesapeake pick 6. We got that in a second, though. There's your field. No scratches. These are 4-year-olds and up. Open company, 75 down to 6. Once again, the Chesapeake pick 6 kicks off here in race number 4. 20-cent wager, a jackpot type. Dan, Rad Paisley. Off the claim here for Mikey Juralis.
And that is a big move for Mikey Juralis. We do have a trainer stat for Juralis regarding Rad Paisley. First off the claim, 8 for the last 18 for Rad Paisley and Juralis, 42%, a $2.81 return on investment. And Rad Paisley earned a good figure last time out wiring the field. I thought visually looked very good. Here's my worry.
Yeah.
They ran 1, 2, 3, 4 around the track that day. And when you see that, you sometimes have to wonder, A, was the pace just so slow that it helped front runners like Rad Paisley, or was it just a weak field overall? I think Rad Paisley is going to have to improve a little bit stepping up in class, but I don't think this horse necessarily needs the lead to win. You'll know Rad Paisley, he's got the cheek pieces on again.
Oh, yeah. I think he can hound the inner speed and go on if needed. My concern was a little bit of a drop off of the break down to 75, and I'm definitely going to use this horse. I fear him. He's very quick when right. B West Video Spotlight horse here for Kieran McGee, winner of 3 of its last 3 sprints. Didn't really take to the mile 2 races back, but then I'll let you talk about this trip on the 29th of December.
Yeah, we saw B West break in here, and he's just getting up close to the pace, and this is where B West is comfortable. The great thing about this horse is not only that he likes to win races. He's won, 8 of 19 lifetime, but he also can do it from off the pace. You saw him get shuffled back a little bit on the turn. He was up close, but he's just going to re-rally very comfortably, get to the outside, gets his face clean, no mud being kicked in, and now B West is going to be on a grind. This horse is very game to win this race. He loves sprinting. He's won his last 3 sprint races, and again, he likes to win. He can get close to the pace. He's very pace adaptable, and it's just a very logical contender in this spot, and arguably the horse to beat.
Oh yeah, and certainly J.G. Torrealba, hopefully to carry his success into the new year. He's really improved, in my opinion. Handled as a journeyman. His talent is very strong.
Clips Award finalist for Apprentice.
No, that's good. So 4th race, I'm between the 5 and 7, 7-5. The one I think could draft into an okay trip, Addie's Laddie TNT. Some trouble last time out, but with a kind of a laggard just outside and a Johnny French Fry with some speed. Maybe go up and get position with Matilda Burnham and make a little bit of a run into it at an okay number. Is that it for the 4th, or we got something else we want to touch
No, I'm just
on?
saying, Addie's Laddie TNT, that's a very interesting angle as well. This horse is dropping back to the level of the last win. $7,500 claimers, very comfortable here. You mentioned the trip last time out. I think Matty Burnham's going to get a little bit aggressive from the rail to try to get that important position, breaking inside, going 3/4 of a mile. It's a tough task with a horse like B West in this race. For a value standpoint, this horse certainly could be a board play.
My under horses as prices, maybe in your tries and supers, would be Addie's Laddie TNT and the horse just right next door, Captain Cardo. I think if things get really contested, this is a horse I chase and might just pop in at a number. Cactus on the outside, we'll touch upon real quick, 38 minutes to post. Go second time gelding, got it done. First time gelding off a little bit of a break, and second off the claim.
I think the ultimate equipment change really worked for Cactus, and I think it must be noted. The Lacey Gauntlet barn before the break was on fire. They were winning with everything, including Cactus, who showed good positional speed, which is so important in races like this. And breaking from this outside post, it gives Weston Hamilton so many options. He can break, he can see what's going on to the inside. If this horse wants the lead, he can get it. If not, he can sit just off. I just have a feeling that whole gelding process turned this horse around.
I don't think he needs to be caught 4 wide. I really think he can
he's got
drop
speed.
in a little bit, get in close enough, let Rad Paisley and the Bullion Bomber, a little quicker horses go, drop in maybe that 2-3 path, and then spy from there and bring a run. Well, that completes the opening 4. We'll be back after this break with a look at the last 5 and our value late pick 5.
Baltimore! To the city of Baltimore, to all the fans watching around the world, riders up!
They're off in the Preakness.
All eyes of the world will be on Baltimore.
They're head and head. Seabiscuit leads by a length. Seabiscuit is the winner.
And it was a powerhouse race again by the big, strong Secretariat.
Sunday Silencer takes the lead at the quarter pole.
American Pharaoh, phenomenal in the Preakness.
And the filly did it! Rachel Alexandra! Here is Smarty Jones. He wins the Preakness by a dozen lengths.
She's the brave, wins the Preakness.
We are back here at today at the races. Dan Illman, Keith Fustel. Going to wrap it up here. The last 5 races. Value late pick 5. We've got a ticket. In a second, we're going to show, I believe we're going to show the field first. Is that okay, guys? We're going to take a look at this field. It's a big field, a couple scratches. The 1 Cajun Dream, the 4 Monday Morning QB, Everett Song. We're going to see them later this weekend. Still a highly competitive group here in race 5, going 7 furlongs. This is a 12-5 starter. Value pick 5, 12% takeout, 50-cent minimum wager. Let's take a look at Mackenzie Piper's ticket. $36 it's going to cost you. We're going to start it out with a single right off the bat. Dan, she's right along with you with Stormquist with the 13. Turning to race 6, it goes 10 and 12, 3 deep in race 7 with the 2, 5, and 8. A little price there with the 2, not a bother, an improving sort for Robin Graham. Race 8 spreads 1, 3, 5, 7. Wrap it up in the 9th with the 1, 4, and 8. Feistiness, Lasix on inside post of that mile and a 16 could be dangerous for Jamie Ness. $36 play for the late value pick 5.
No, good, interesting single with Stormquist coming in off the also eligible list. I like it, shipping in from Penn National Sharp. Stormquist has finished first in his last 3 races and is going out for a barn that is based at Penn National but does very well in Maryland. Here's our trainer's stat for the 13 Stormquist. Trainer Tim Kreiser on dirt in Maryland, 11 for the last 38. 29% with a 293 ROI. Now, Stormquist is stepping up in class. If you go back into the chart of the last race, you'll notice that starter optional claimer was for non-winners of 4 life. He is facing horses that have won way more races than 4 in his career. So it is a big step up in class, and Tyler's going to have to hustle this horse from the outside post to get forward. Can he make the lead with a horse like the Wolfman in here? I'm not sure, but I'm hoping maybe he can sit second. Class concerns, pace concerns, but this horse is sharp and the barn is sharp as well.
Yeah, Kreiser, you pay attention when he brings horses down, without a doubt. I lean a little bit towards the Wolfman. Welcome, Sarah Del Fabro, in from Italy, correct?
In from Italy. She's won races there. She's not just your 10-pound bug that came out of nowhere. She's got a lot of experience, and she's going to be riding for some good barns here. I mean, Kieran's putting her on. The Wolfman has got some speed and just couldn't get to his position near the lead last time out. It was his first start off, what, a 500-day layoff. We can give him a mulligan for that. I love you like the Wolfman in here. He's got back class.
I've always been a fan of the Wolfman. This guy's just a cagey vet, and he did not get a fair chance. You look at our Equibase short comment, steadied in close at the start, 4 wide with some other speeds in there. It was over by the time they hit the 3/8. Well, he was showing a little effort, and it was like, pack it in, City. Let's wait for another day. If he breaks cleanly, he's going to go a ways here with Sarah Del Fabra, I believe, for Kieran McGee. I like that morning line at 12. Might come down a touch with a few of these scratches. Dan, you concentrate on the 13, Stormquist. Sell me on the 6, Morning Thoughts. It's a horse I just never connect, it seems. I know Robin likes this horse a little bit, but at 7 furlongs, that could be the perfect fit.
I think that's the key to this race. I generally like horses cutting back in distance to the 7/8 trip. Morning Thoughts has won at this distance, has won going route to sprint in the past. The barn is doing well out of town. Ricky Silliman sent out a 6-1 winner at Tampa Bay. Horse listed as a vet scratch at Penn National on January the 10th. But what I do like about this horse is that while he's shown speed going 2 turns, I think he can sit off the pace, turning back to 7/8, and that trip might work out for him.
Okay, Big Daddy's Boy. Another one. It's going to need maybe a little bit of flow.
He
Getting
could
that
get
extra
it.
furlong today on a muddy sealed surface last time out. Closed to just missed to a pretty sharp horse in B West.
And didn't have the most comfortable trip. Off a beat slow, saving ground in mid-pack, angled out to split horses 4 wide, turning into the stretch, and then had to squeeze through a tight spot in between horses to get up for second that day. He was a little bit late to change leads, but I wonder if he was just intimidated being in between horses. He does have a good kick.
Yeah, no, he can definitely kick it on, and I think this horse is he can pair up the figures in this race today. Let's see. I taking another little stab here up against it at a 12-1 morning line. I liked this horse last time. He's got some really good races on his page over the surface. He just didn't get away real cleanly last time. I think if he reverts back to tactics of making that deeper run, it could pay dividends here in today's 5th. In today's 5th, Dan, 13-6, 310. I'm 7-12, 313. As you're going to see with our picks throughout the day, this is a highly competitive group of races all the way through. Tough to decipher, and our picks are kind of all over the map. So grab a hold of 1 or 2 horses, take them top and bottom, use some prices in there, and I think you got a shot to make some money. Let's go to the 6th. 6th race, Maiden Claiming, 30 down to 24, 3-year-olds going the 1-turn mile. Late pick 4 action, the $1 jackpot super high 5 scratch, and a big scratch here, the 5 of Percy, scratch the 13 Edelweiss, and the 15 White Blue. 14, My Lucky Valentine, draws in, and I think certainly will take some action. I'm on General Maximus, the first-time Lasix to get to the front. Has the family. I looked at some siblings there. There's Route, especially second, down at the second dam was all long. Maximum some security. The Stallion, it's a smaller sample, but thus far 31% with his dirt routers. Outer draw here, and against, we're going to be later in the card here. Pay attention to this track.
That's right.
If outside is playing okay, this horse has some gameness to him. I think he can stretch out and go a long way towards the front. You go with the horse that drew in the 14, My Lucky Valentine.
After the scratch of Percy, I just had to go and redo this thing because Percy was going to be my top pick, and he was my top pick on the handicapping guide. My Lucky Valentine, on the other hand, I think was prepping in the career debut, going 5.5 on the turf. This horse has a pedigree to go long and has a pedigree to succeed on dirt. So made the dirt debut last time out, stretching way out in distance, settled back off a fast pace, but was churning on in the stretch and just grabbed second to finish ahead of 3 of these horses right at the shadow of the wire. I just think a distance of ground is good for this horse. I think a mile will be good. Has to avoid a wide trip. We talk about it all the time. Going this distance, you don't want to be hung out wide. You've got a long stretch to deal with. But I think this horse is all upside. And again, like many, gets Lasix for the first time.
Exactly. I think the 1 Aikman's Audible is a little bit better than the last. Lasix going on, was climbing a little bit. Got off with a little bit of a bobble last time out. I see some improvement for this Nest runner. And when you're just kind of glancing at buyers, he doesn't really have to improve too much to be a player in here.
And I really believe that this is another horse that's just going to love distance. He's just a big, good-bodied horse with a pedigree. And last time out, they ran him off his feet in the early part of this race. But he kept churning on at the end, galloped out okay. I think getting out to a mile, J-Rod is a master riding the 1-mile dirt configuration here. That's a very very interesting horse.
Yep.
The 10 Mr. Mendelssohn is somewhat interesting because, boy, the connections thought a lot of him. They made his debut in the Grade 1 Hopeful.
Yes.
That didn't work out, and they dropped him down last time out, and he ran okay. And Carlos Mencia, with experienced horses getting Lasix for the first time, not first-time starters, but experienced horses. 8 for the last 27, a $4.81 return on investment. So Mr. Mendelssohn is a horse that showed improvement when dropped to the tag last time out. Maybe can get further improvement with the addition of Lasix. It's what Mencia does very, very well.
Yeah, this is a spread race to me.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of things can happen. A lot of first-time Lasix. You got some horses stretching out and breeding suggest. Viravino Boulevard's a horse I chased last time. I think now goes third time gelding. We'll see about that one. 14-10, 12-6 for Dan. I'm 12-1, 11-14. Seventh race upcoming here. Looking at race number 7. It's a first level allowance for the fillies and mares. No scratches in here. It's a $49,000 purse. Good field here. This is the late pick 3 as well. Don't forget, we've got pick 3s and pick 4s. I was just looking at that McKenzie Value late pick 5 ticket. She's got a single. Okay, you swing and miss on that one. You come back and play that pick 4 as well. Follow it right up. So 7th race. I like this race. I'm right there with the morning line favorite with the 8, but I'm going to talk about a little bit of value in a second. But let's talk about Be Inspired, our top selection, number 8 for Brittany Russell.
And we have a video spotlight for Be Inspired's most recent race. This was on December the 7th, a first-level allowance. And Be Inspired gets bumped pretty hard coming out of the gate, is shuffled all the way back to last, and has a lot to do. There's that bump again coming out of the gate. Really, you would think that would take this horse out of his game, but Be Inspired was pressing and tracking the pace. Look at this rush job, getting up into position. Had to sustain a long run into the stretch, and understandably is just going to get a little bit tired. That's a lot of work Be Inspired did. Bumped at the start, rushed up to contest the pace, now in between horses, gets tired in the lane. The 5th place finisher from this race came back to win with a 74 buyer speed figure. I think Be Inspired can be a little bit closer with a more alert beginning. My one concern is that maybe 6 furlongs is a little bit sharp for this horse. They were debuting him at 7. Both of his dirt races are good, though. He's got a lot of upside.
And she's got some speed to target in here. There's a couple of horses that can cut it out. Stick with the colors. Very fast. Broke a little slow last time. Rushed up and very game to the wire. More sharp in that dirt debut for Claudio. And even Voodoo You Do. I like this one. I think this one coming in from Parks has a serious chance. A strong work coming into this. Was dead game after switching leads very late, but was sandwiched in between, I believe, a horse that was in very good form at the time, Pachalba, and a horse that came back to win. But talking real quick about Be Inspired, there's your stat, December 8th through the 10th of January. Brittany Russell, 13 for 48, 27%. The beat goes on, 227 ROI. And love the comment of Robin. Dave Robin, one of the best, if not the best announcers in the business, picking that up. And I was watching that race, talking about Be Inspired. You talked about the rush up. He goes, might be using up too much energy, basically. And we'll see what she has left is what he said. And it was he was right on it. You're going to get some tidbits from him throughout the racing card and a little new special that we're going to have to add to our broadcast. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So let's go to the 8th. Let's go to the 8th here. 5.5, 49,000. This is the 3-year-old fillies, right? Any other than a optional 5.5. No changes in here. Interesting. Top selection. This is a late daily double as well. Pocket Sand for you, Dan, coming in for another Chrysler runner from Penn National.
2-4-2. We're going to find out how good Pocket Sand is. This is the acid test, but this is the most recent start, and there's certainly nothing wrong with this. Now, this horse went right to the front. Looking over the charts and watching the races at Penn National this evening, it was a wet track that favored speed, but Pocket Sand just put the boots to this field, won very easily, showed the ability to rate and finish in his career debut. I think this horse has a lot of upside potential. Is going to be facing a very interesting horse from the Todd Pletcher barn, as well as a stakes winner, Shakara Fire. This is a good field of newly turned 3-year-olds.
Yeah, she might not have it as easy on the front end, just to the inside. Repeater Rosa has shown speed. Obviously, Prancing Spirit coming in for Pletcher. You'll like to see that, though. A $7,000 purchase. You're 2 for 2. And you say, okay, you want to give me 62.5? I'll take it. And pretty smart move there by Best Sector. So you got to like that.
And one of the reasons the barn does very well, we had a stat for Kreiser Dirt, Maryland. Look at lately, December 27th through January the 9th, 28% winners, 259 ROI. Let's find out how good Pocket Sand is.
Yeah, we're going to find out. I'm going to go outside with Shakira Fire. LASIK's going on for the first time here for Corrales and Cruz. Ran that big race, Maryland Million Day in the Lassie. You benefit by the way that track was playing. Got flow, 7 wide, relentless to get up. I was just really shocked she was up on the front end last time.
I think she was just very aggressive, stretching out for the first time, and I think a lot of things worked against her. It was a hot pace. She burned herself out, and I wonder if she was on the deeper part of the track that day, down on the inside, facing a good horse. The winner of that race came back to finish second in the Gin Talking. Turning back in distance, she's going to revert to the tactics that worked well for her last time out. And listen, she's got the experience edge over these horses. We'll see what the Pletcher horse has coming down from New York, but Shakira Fire's legit.
I even think her 3-back race for Shakira Fire works for me. If Mancia has a big day, that's Carlos Mancia. You just might have yourself a really good day as well. You're using the 6, My Dear Antonio, at a 12-1 number with Torre Alba.
Horse has a lot to prove. Walked the dog on the lead, went very easy in the career debut, won easily. They threw a lot more speed at her second time out. She just could not keep up, but it was another good field. The third-place finisher came back to place in a stake with a 72 buyer. LASIK's on, blinkers on. Maybe she's ready for a go.
Okay, I'm going to toss in my memories. I think this horse has ran sneaky good with some trouble trips the last 2. Second time here for Ferry. I'm going to toss that one into the mix. 7-1-3-4 for me, 3-6-5-7. We're going to wrap it up here in the ninth race. Maiden Claimers, a mile and a 16th, 3-year-old fillies. As you said, no scratches whatsoever. There's your field of 8. Thanks, guys. And drink deeply. I want to go right to the video for this Trombetta runner if we can.
We're going to watch Drink Deeply, and Drink Deeply showed good speed out of the gate, but I had a feeling here that Michael Sanchez said, you know, they're really putting the heat on me. I want to take this horse back a little bit, and I wonder if maybe that just took Drink Deeply out of the game. Drink Deeply showed speed, wound up back in the pocket, got a little bit of dirt kicked back in her face, and Drink Deeply ends up just tiring. These were better horses she was facing. The pace, as you can see, is really heating up at this point. He's gotten really no choice. If you're going to go on with it, you're going to be involved in a speed duel. Here you're taking her back and making her have to make 2 runs, and that's always very difficult, especially for maiden claimers. This time around, I think Drink Deeply's on ascend. At this class level, should show some speed.
Okay, you 2-7. You've got Golden Girl Lena for Rob with Perez. I go inside with Feistiness, and there's our stat for Drink Deeply. Yeah, thanks, guys. Trombi maidens drop at least 50% claiming price. 5 for the last 14, 36%. You want to touch upon Golden Girl Lena real quick?
Yeah, let's talk about Golden Girl Lena. One of 2 in here for trainer Jerry Robb. Tracked the pace in between horses last time out. Ran well. Just looks like this horse is slowly coming into her own. One of 2 Robb-trained horses in this race. The other one, Treasure the Moment. We've got a trainer's stat for Jerry Robb with Treasure the Moment. And Treasure the Moment, maiden's 3rd start, 4 for the last 15. That's 27%, a $2.93 return on investment. Stretching out to me is kind of a big question mark here. You see that successful appeal on the bottom, and you think speed. So curious to see what we get here.
I think there's a General JR. I think might have been in that family as well. It was kind of a horse that would run from the way back, if I'm not mistaken, going along. I touch in. Feistiness against the grain on the 7th. LASIK's going on. I like this inside post. Kinda Bossiness, Little Lance, horses that have gone long before. Dan, you wrap it up. 2-7-3-4 in the 9th. 1-2-7-4. Best plays of the day. I'll kick it off right now. We don't have to go too far back. Rewind to race number 8. I like the 7. Shakira Fire is going to be my kind of value play, best play of the day. How are you going to bet it? I'm going to watch this track. If this track is playing to outside sweepers, I'm going to come in full bore on the 7 Shakira Fire, a nice win and place bet. Maybe hook up in some exacta boxes with the 1, 3, and 4. Dan, finish it.
Race number 2, the 10, Ask Not What You Can Do. Lots of new things, new barn, new surface. Trying dirt for the first time. I think this horse is just very well entered in here. 10-1 on the morning line. Maybe it's a little bit of a pipe dream. I'm going to try to play this horse to win at 5-1. Key him in some exotics with some of my other picks.
All right, 19 minutes to post. Anything else to add?
I'm just looking forward to a great year here
Yeah.
at Laurel Park. We've got some stakes action tomorrow. Free calendar giveaway
Yes.
today and tomorrow. So head on down. After you watch the live stream on YouTube, head on over to your favorite ADW. Catch all the action. Callie, Mackenzie, Rodman, they've got you covered all day.
All right. Good luck, everybody.
Good afternoon and welcome to Laurel Park. 18 minutes to post time, and the track is fast. Temperature in the upper 30s, winds out of the southwest, light winds at about 5 miles per hour. Cloudy skies for the card today. We have 9 races on the program, followed by 6 races from San Isidro, Argentina. Here's a look at your Laurel Park changes. In the first race, starting the 50-cent value pick 5, 12% takeout. Number 3, Mosley's Image is 1 over. Second race, 7, Bonds Bell, blinkers last out, blinkers today. Scratch number 9, Just the Thing, scratch 9, Just the Thing. Third race, all clear with no changes. Race 3. In the fourth race, start of the Chesapeake Pick 6, 20-cent Chesapeake Pick 6. No changes. Fifth race, value pick 5, the late value pick 5, 12% takeout. Starts at race 5. Scratch 1, Cajun Dream. Scratch 4, Monday Morning Quarterback. Scratch 11, Everett's Song. The 13 will run. In the 6th, scratch 5, Percy. Scratch 13, Edelweiss. Scratch 15, White Blue. 7th, no changes. All clear in the 8th, no program changes. Ninth race, no changes in the 9th. Following the 9th race,